I like to ask one thing when you spoke about the Big Bang. At first I thought, what is he talking about? And the only thing I could feel or understand was that every moment there is a big bang happening in terms of breaking through the illusion.
What I meant by that, the idea just came to me spontaneously at the end of the meditation, that we had collapsed our experience, which seems to take place in this vast expanse of space,
Yeah.
and this vast duration of time. We had collapsed it down into something that, if we were really clear about what we were experiencing, was smaller than a point. So that's what I was trying to. That's what the summary of today's meditation, when I mentioned the Big Bang, that what we know of as creation comes out of. In fact, it never comes out of it. It never leaves it. It exists within this world that we perceive of 4 dimensions. Is contained within something which itself has no dimensions. And that is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
That this universe of 4 dimensions of time and space that we perceive, its reality has no, pure consciousness has no dimensions. It does not exist in this world of time and space.
No.
That's not just an intellectual idea, that's what we were experiencing this morning. And in fact, the universe doesn't emerge out of this dimensionless point. It somehow takes place within it. Let me give you a hint of how to think about this. That when Mary falls asleep and that she's Jane on the streets of Paris, Jane, she used to live in Amsterdam. She moved to Paris, and she spent 6 months in Paris. So the dream is the 6 months that Jane spent in Paris. But when Mary wakes up, she looks at her clock, and it's 1 minute past midnight. When she fell asleep, it was midnight. The 6 months that seemed to be real from Jane's point of view took a moment in Mary's mind. How much space, or during Jane's 6 months in Paris, she walked 5 miles every day. So over the 6-month period in which the dream took place, how many miles of that? She walked 2,000 miles. How much space did that take up in Mary's mind? None. How can something that took a moment in Mary's mind and took up no space at all appear to Jane as time and space on the streets of Paris? It was Jane's perceiving faculties, Jane's faculties of perceiving and thinking, that refracted Mary's dimensionless mind and made it appear as time and space in Paris. But the dream didn't take place outside Mary's mind. The dream took place in this dimensionless mind of Mary, and yet from Jane's point of view, it seemed to consist of thousands of miles and 6 months of time. So could it be, you transpose that, we've gone down from the waking state to the dream state, transpose it up from the waking state to consciousness. Could it be that in consciousness, what we experience at this level, one level down, could it be that what we experience as time and space doesn't take up any time and space in consciousness? That's what we were experiencing this morning. And it's not that the time and space that we experience emerges out of consciousness. Jane's experience doesn't take place outside Mary's mind, it takes place inside Mary's dimensionless mind. How can a period of 6 months take place in something that has no dimensions? But it's our experience. That's what happens every night when we have a dream, when we go down the waking state to the dream state. We'll just go up from the waking state to consciousness and consider the possibility that what we experience of time and space does not take place in any, has no dimensions for the reality of our experience, which is consciousness. It's not even, in other words, there is a precedent from what I am saying in experience. I'm not suggesting some extraordinary theory that we have no knowledge of. We all dream of time and space every night. So there are innumerable instances of this, of time and space in the dream appearing in something that has no dimensions in the waking state. So all I'm doing is taking a known phenomena of experience and extrapolating it one level up from the waking state to consciousness. So in this case, the Big Bang would not be an event that took place 13.8 billion years ago, because time and space are not part of the fabric of reality. They are not inherent in reality. So this model of Big Bang, the Big Bang taking place 13.8 billion years ago, is just the human mind's feeble attempt at articulating what really takes place, the creation process, in a way that's consistent with its own limitations.
Yes. Yes.
And there's nothing else the finite mind can do. It's just the finite mind trying to represent truth on its own terms. But could we try to find a more accurate, not a completely accurate, there are no accurate models of reality, but a more accurate model of reality? When the Tantric, in the Tantric tradition of Kashmir Shaivism, they say the universe is an expansion of I being consciousness, this dimensionless presence, and that the universe expands, the universe of time and space expands within this dimensionless presence. Could this be what they were referring to? So that's what I meant. I'm not suggesting that it's not valid to conceive of the Big Bang taking place 13.8 billion years ago. That there is a validity to that model. It's not an accurate model, but it's still valuable for. It still has some validity in terms of our practical lives. But it's not an accurate model of reality. What I was trying to do today was to come a little bit closer, to try and consider what the creation of the universe might be if we take out time and space, if we realize time and space are not inherent in reality. Could we have an alternative model of creation that doesn't presuppose the existence of time and space being fundamental in reality? If we consider consciousness the fundamental reality, not time and space, then how could we reinterpret the Big Bang theory?
Yes. Very interesting.